Hey readers, it's almost July, and when I think about July and June, I think about midway through the year, and I think about Christmas in July, and that's made me lately think about where I am in my reading progress from my Advent Book Exchange project with my daughter Megan at the end of 2019. If you are not familiar and haven't looked through that number of videos, there were 26 of them plus an intro, so 27. And what we did was we exchanged a gift of a book or a book-related item every day for the 25 days of Christmas, and then again, we had a little bit of what we call here in the South lagniappe at the end, where we had some extra little gifts that we exchanged or extra books that we exchanged. So I went through those videos and revisited all of the books and things that I got from Megan as a result. And today I wanted to kind of just check in on that project and see where I am and where I want to go to be more intentional. There for a while, the first couple of months of the year, I was really focusing on reading one a month. And then I started focusing on other things, and I haven't been as mindful at including one of those books every month. So I'd like to get back to that a little. Today I actually have another gift from Megan, my Cessnock candle, which is a soy candle that is so lovely. I hate to burn it because I don't want it to go away, and then I'm like, well, you just get another one. Like, hopefully they're still in business though, but it's Basil Rathbone. It's basil, lavender, and thyme is the scent of it, and it smells really woodsy and Highlandery, and it's wonderful. Okay, so let's look at the Advent Book Exchange project, and first let's look at what I've read. I'm also going to say that Megan was here the other day, and while she was here, I asked her to pick a read from this list for me to take a look at this month, and she has done so. So at the end, I'll tell you which book Megan chose for me to read, and then I'll tell you which book I'd like to get to in the month of July. So of the 26 or so days that we exchanged gifts, 21 of those gifts were a book. And so and some of them were smaller, like one is a children's book, The Crayons Christmas, which I could read like right now and click it off the list, but I'm not going to do that. But I would like to, maybe that's a good Christmas in July read, is to read The Crayons Christmas. But here are the books so far that I have read off that list. Now I will go through the list like one by one and then kind of just talk about when I get to one, where I am with having read it. Let's do that. So the first day was a DVD player from the UK, that version of player that you can't use US DVDs on, etc. And I got the movie, The 13th Tale, which is complete on my list. Megan and I watched that together, and I really liked it. I was surprised by how much I liked the movie, and I would actually like to watch it again. That would be a good thing for me to do. I would also like to reread The 13th Tale at some point, but I don't know that that will happen in July. Day 2, which is actually, I didn't pull all these because there's so many, but I'll pull this one because it's right behind me, is Sing Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward. This is my signed copy, but she also got me a different copy, which I gave away in a giveaway right after Christmas. Coptown by Karin Slaughter, a thriller. I have not read any Karin Slaughter. I did not finish this, have not started it. An Unwanted Guest by Shari Lapena. I pulled this because I have read it. I didn't read it since I got it in December, but I have read it before. It is also a book I'd like to reread. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I think this is my favorite Shari Lapena so far. I've read a lot of hers. I think I maybe only have one to go. A Pagan's Nightmare, which I added to my summer reading list, is a possibility. I've not read that. The Last Letter from Your Lover by Jojo Moyes. I did read. I read it in December while on vacation. I really liked this one too. Historical fiction, dual timeline, lovely story. Really recommend this. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed this one and how quickly I got through it. Let's see, then I got some other stuff. I got the Harry Potter gaming guide for the Harry Potter Wizarding World game. I got Dark Matter, which I don't have to show you, but I did finish that and I loved it. It also was a 5-star read for me. I passed it on to my kids so that they could all read it. Megan's finished it. Matthew has not. I think one of Megan's friends already read it. I think I liked it at least as much, if not slightly more than Recursion. Fantastic. Kitty and Doggy Yoga, 2 little books that she got me that are actually in the other room. I love those 2. They were tiny and I did read those. They're so cute. You can also go to these videos and rewatch them if you'd like. Most of them are very, very short. Tarot to Go, which is a tarot deck and a tiny little tarot accompanying book, and so it's a nice little travel deck of tarot. I have not gone through that, but you know, it's kind of it's a combination of book, but it's mostly a non-book gift, and so it's just another tarot deck to add to my collection. Upstream by Mary Oliver is a book of poetry by Mary Oliver, one of my favorite poets. We lost not long ago. Have not finished that. How to Tell If Your Cat is Plotting to Kill You. I have not read that yet either, but it's definitely intriguing. And he's been really cranky lately, so maybe I should take a look at that soon. The Crayons Christmas, children's book. If you've never read The Day the Crayons Quit and The Day the Crayons Came Home and Crayons Christmas, I highly recommend them for you and for your kids. They're super, super duper books. The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon, I did finish. I read it quickly in the winter, January, I think. I really liked this one much more than I liked the first one that I read of hers, which wasn't bad. It was called The Invited, and I liked it, but I really enjoyed The Winter People a lot. So I do want to read another novel by Jennifer McMahon. I really appreciated this one. I think Megan wants to read that one too. With or Without You by Dominika Ruta is a nonfiction memoir, as I remember. I think, yeah, I think it is. Have not read that one. The Dutch House by Ann Patchett I read also quickly because I was really anticipating the release of this novel. Devoured it. I love Ann Patchett so much. I really do. I can't imagine her. I wasn't a great fan of Bel Canto, as a lot of people are, but I still liked it a lot. But this one was so, so good. Okay. Persepolis, which is a graphic novel. I do want to get to that. It's a possibility. I have not read it. First Impressions by Charlie Lovett, which I think is up here. Yeah, right here, but you can't see it. I just see that. It's a book about books and Jane Austen and a lost manuscript, I think, and a possibility. Today Will Be Different by Maria Simple. She's the author of the Where'd You Go, Bernadette book that I love. So that's a contemporary, I think. At least that's where I have it filed. So that's a possibility. The Good Daughter by Alexandra Burt. Yes, Alexandra Burt. I thought for a minute I had that wrong. The Good Daughter. This is a thriller. What if you were the worst crime your mother ever committed? Great line. I'm kind of in the really craving thrillers lately. That's been a challenge for me when I didn't pick that many thrillers for this month. And then the extras that she threw in at the end were The Little Stranger by, good Lord, Sarah Waters. The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters, which I have read before. I would be up for a reread. That's a great Gothic mystery in the style of Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I am craving a reread of Rebecca. I typically do reread that in the summer for some reason, and so I have been thinking about a reread of that, but The Little Stranger might also be a good read. The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, which is a nonfiction piece about the Vietnam War and the experience of soldiers in that time. Megan had read that during college, she said, and it was actually on my to-read list, unbeknownst to her, so that's a possibility. And then the last one, which is the book that Megan has picked for me to read this month, and it's a perfect pick. is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. This was one that was also on my list. I'd never read it. This is the 75th anniversary edition, because this is a classic piece of work that is acclaimed by Zora Neale Hurston, who also wrote a lot of other novels as well, and a play she wrote with Langston Hughes. This was originally published, I'm going to need my glasses to discover that. This was originally published in 1937. It is one of the most important classics of the 20th century, really. A Southern love story with wit, beauty, and heartfelt wisdom, told in the captivating voice of a woman who refuses to live in sorrow, bitterness, fear, or foolish romantic dreams, and a fair-skinned, fiercely independent Janie Crawford in her evolving selfhood through 3 marriages and a life marked by poverty, trials, and purpose, a literary wonder. Perhaps the most widely read and highly regarded novel in the entire canon of African American literature. And I haven't read it. What a perfect time as we are really honoring Black history, equal justice for Black Americans, when we're really focusing on our implicit bias and our white fragility. And I think this is great timing to read. I love this cover with this tree, the roots of this tree, and the vastness of it. Timing, perfect, timely for me. Megan's pick, getting to this in July for sure. Zora Neale Hurston died shortly before I was born. So what else should I look at from this list in the month of July? Because I'd really like to get 2 read, maybe more. I could read Crayon's Christmas in July. You hear that a lot, right? Since I'm craving thrillers, I feel like I just need to honor that craving. And I'm going to take a look at The Good Daughter by Alexandra Burt. Yeah, I'm really in the mood for and in need of fast-paced reading these days. Again, I'm having a bit of a focus challenge, and finding time to read has been a bit of a challenge in June, just because it's been a busy month. But yeah, I don't know a lot about this. It's recommended by Oprah.com and by a couple of other authors that I've not heard of, I don't think. Yeah, The Good Daughter. And then if I get to some others, I will let you know in my July reading wrap-up. So for the month of July, from the Advent Book Exchange Project, I'm going to read these 2 books. So I'm going to add those to my final July TBR, and I'll post that in a few days once I get it all together. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for those of you who watched the Advent Book Exchange and liked it a lot. I got a lot of good feedback on that. It was fun to do. And we did intend to do that again. I haven't really been collecting books though. So that is, it's June, it's almost July. So that's something to think about too. And just to make sure we're still going to do that, because we're kind of restricted from collecting and shopping and doing all those things. So we'll see how it goes. I'll make sure we're going to do it before I start diving in. So I hope your month of July is filled with lots of great summer reads and maybe classics, and maybe you're looking at some Black history or Black nonfiction works, as a lot of people are. So just tell me what you're reading in the comments below, and let me know what you would have picked to read off of that Advent book list. Thanks for watching. Bye. Happy reading.